A little bit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another live on YouTube. If you guys have seen my promo, a lot of persons have seen it, and I appreciate the concern. But I told you guys that the live will be at 4 today, so there should be no confusion. But the panelists are going to be coming onto the live very soon, so we'll just wait for them. How is everybody doing this Sunday evening? I hope everybody has eaten their Sunday dinner or is going to eat their Sunday dinner, because this awesome stream is on as we speak. So when our panelists come on, we're going to be talking about the Euros, as well as we're going to be talking about the provisional 60-man squad that the Jamaica Football Federation has released a couple days ago. So we'll be looking at that, as well as we will be looking at the Euros and what happened today, yesterday, and what will be the turnout after all the matches have been played, because this is the last round of matches that will be played from groups A to F, and we'll decide who really will be the best third place, as we see one of them coming on to the live. No, okay. So yes,
I told you I was going to wear it tonight.
All right. So, of course, Robert will be coming on later. Keena is supposed to be here as well. Hopefully, he jumps on, and then we have somebody else that's supposed to be here. So, let's just hope he arrives. So, Craig, welcome to the show as usual. We always never shy away from discussing football as it relates to what's going on in the world. I just want to start off with some good news. Ericsson is out of the hospital and he's fine. He actually Danish team in training when they were training for their last group game that will be happening this week. So he actually surprised them, and they were so happy to see him. So he will be, as you know, fitted with an ICD. That's going to be a defibrillator that's basically assisting him as it pertains to if something were to happen and his heart stops, it will actually basically revive it. So it's going to be a tricky situation, though, because I know that in Serie A, the Italian FA says that you can't play football if you have an ICD. So you know that relatively that means he cannot play for Inter anymore. But remember that Christian Eriksen can also still play in other leagues. We know that Daley Blind actually plays with an ICD. So we'll see. I believe Christian Eriksen came from Ajax, if memory serves me correctly.
No, I'm saying, I think Daley Blind has collapsed several times on the field as well, too.
Exactly. I think that is. And they actually diagnosed him with this irregular heart condition.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty certain that Christian Eriksen has played for Ajax. Yes, he did. For 3 years, and actually scored 25 goals in 113 appearances. So if he wants to continue playing football, I mean, Ajax is not a bad place to go. And I mean, you wouldn't short of having midfielders over there. They as much as they can. So, yeah. So, Euro. What happened yesterday, Craig?
Started yesterday or today?
I want to start with yesterday, because I want to start with the shocker that really happened yesterday when we all thought.
Hold on. Which shocker? You're talking Hungary, France, or Portugal, Germany? Because people.
I don't want to start off with Hungary. I don't want to start off with Portugal first, because that I want to leave that for yesterday.
France, Hungary is a shocker as well. Because,
yes, that France-Hungary game was a shocker, of course. That game saw where we saw Hungary take the lead through Fiola, right as halftime basically was supposed to blow off.
Yeah.
Hungary looked like they were not backing down from this French team.
Absolutely.
I mean, Craig, what was going on yesterday?
You know, funny enough.
Countered.
But funny enough, I think they played it pretty much the same way that they played against Portugal. Sometimes they sat back, absorb the pressure and then continue to break, with that with the counter, the usual counter attack.
Right.
It was an awkward match for France because I believe France, Benzema, as we were talking yesterday, Benzema got an excellent chance when it was 0-0. And if he was in Real Madrid's jersey, he would have scored that goal. I believe
think so?
Yes. But it was unfortunate. But boy, and I think also the crowd helped Hungary a lot.
Yeah, I think so as well.
And this Hungary team is not a team to sleep on, really. It's a good team with quality.
No, this Hungary team with quality. I think that this Hungary team, what makes them so formidable is that they play so well as a team.
Yeah.
And what was very, how would I put it? What was very imminent in my head is that most of the times when France was attacking, 11 men were behind the ball. There was nobody in France's half. None at all.
Yeah, no. But when they do break, though, when they break,
they were.
Is it Saloy or Shaloy? Shaloy, the tall one. Hold up the ball, hold up game good, knock it wide, run in the space.
Yes,
and that proved trouble. It was a little bit problematic for France.
Yeah, for real. And the thing is, what I think Hungary's problem is that there are times when they lapse in defense because most times during the two games that we saw against Portugal and against France, most of the game they were defensively sound.
Yeah.
Defensively sound. They were very good defensively. And then during the last 5 minutes,
in the Portugal match,
they were lapsing, and Portugal scored 3.
Yeah, in the Portugal match, they got tired. It was obvious.
And then within 5 minutes, a lapse in 5 minutes, about 10 minutes, 60 to 70 minutes in the France game, France broke, and boom, they were level with Griezmann. So I think that Hungary.
Dembele coming on made a difference.
Oh gosh, man, Dembele was the thing is with Dembele, and what I think that Deschamps did right was that he saw that they were being defensive very well defensively, and they needed a winger that could have attacked the defense of Hungary.
Right.
Now we all know that Ousmane Dembele is not the best in terms of injuries. He always is injury prone.
Yeah.
But when he's on his game, he is absolutely fantastic. Remember, that this man has played at Dortmund before, and he has been fantastic. Yeah. So I would say that, he will bring him on to really and truly cause some problems. And he did, because let me tell you something. He came on and made the difference. I think I'm gonna add Jamal. Yeah. So Jamal is on. So Craig, I really think that Hungary surprised me yesterday. 100%.
No, this tournament from the beginning of the tournament. Hungary has been
Craig. We're talking to that predictor over again,
Completely. because that group now is pretty much open,
Wide open.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah,
Yes,
man.
we're going to
We're
Jamal.
hearing you. We're hearing you. All right. So we have Jamal. We have Jamal on the show today. Jamal, welcome.
Welcome, Jamal.
Greetings.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
respect.
Sorry for not being able to use my camera. It's having some issues there.
What I
All
hide.
right.
What I hide. You're good, man.
All right. Craig, you're supposed to know Jamal.
Supposed to.
Yeah, and this is Uncle David's nephew.
Okay. Nice
This
to
is
meet you, Jamal.
Uncle Richard's son.
Okay.
So yeah. So welcome Jamal. It's always good to hear from you. All right. So segueing and it's good to have Jamal on. So segueing into the surprise match of the day, Craig. Because
Which one?
this match that happened yesterday was completely turned on its head. I don't know what happened, but we'll have to discuss it. Portugal versus Germany. We all know that match ended 4-2 in favor of the 2014 World Cup champions. I mean, if I am Fernando, I think so. If I was him, I would start Diogo Dalot over Nelson Semedo. He was terrible.
Every day.
Yesterday, absolutely terrible.
No.
When he was going forward,
it was good.
His defending was atrocious. His man marking was even worse.
Non-existent.
Gozens had a field day.
But that's not a surprise. That's not a surprise. That's why he didn't stay long at Barcelona, because he did well on the front foot. But as a defender, you have to primarily be able to defend. Even if your job in the team is not defending first, you have to be capable of doing it when you're called upon. And that's not a surprise.
That's true. That's true.
But my question is, Jamal. All right, here what? I used to, all I would play football at some point in time in our lives. You realize as a player, said, boy, the man might live on my wing. 3 out of the 4 goals came from that side. You know, try and make a little adjustment to the game. Stay back, stay home. Every time the ball kept going across, he was caught in the middle of the field. I mean, I said, this man.
But the thing is, I don't know why he was so fixated on going forward. Huh?
No, well, that's what I was going to answer now. I think part of the problem is not so much that personal decision him want glory or want goal and assist. I think it was from the get-go, yeah? So we know this kind of negative football, you play 4-4-2 behind the ball, it looks ugly.
Yeah.
Truthfully, it's just a matter of how you defend, When you're going forward, it's a different story.
Fine.
So I think they had already put themselves on the back foot by not playing someone alongside Ronaldo, so that they could then have the rest of those players kind of help in that defensive side. So what you find now is that Guerrero on the other side and Semedo, they're making up the wide play of Portugal. And when you're playing against a team like Germany, and then more specifically like Gosens, who's shining in his left side of the 4-3-2, 3-4-2, 3-4-3, you're gonna have that kind of problem, because 3-4-3 suits him perfectly, And that's the kind of way he play for Atalanta, even more attacking sometimes. So when him get a chance against somebody like Semedo with flipping, him just gonna run riot as he did. So if he had played now, and I think he should be starting anyway, you play Andre Silva, for example, up there with Ronaldo. Ronaldo can be busy and help linking up play, because that's an underrated part of his game, his actual link play and passing and all that. It's actually very good. Andre Silva is a very good focal point. So you have a dominant focal point. You have you have Ronaldo underneath him, probably moving around into the different channels now, so that the midfielders can focus on covering the spaces, those half spaces that would be exploited by Gosens, by Kimmich, by everyone in the midfield, because they don't play through the middle. Cruz is the only person that plays through the middle. Everybody else is playing in half spaces. So when you have your play set up to go wide, and your fullbacks are what are giving you the width, you're gonna give them all the freedom that they need, and that causes a problem. And as we saw, it causes goals.
That's true.
All of 4. and two being own goals.
Yeah, but the thing is, I saw when I was having a discussion in not the Bethel group, Craig. There's another group that was having a discussion in, and the person said that um that Ruben Diaz is garbage, and because he scored the own goal, he was garbage. I said, if your flank players, if your fullback players are not defending, and the ball is whipped across to you, and you now have to try and defend it, a lot of times you're going to have an own goal, because if memory serves me correctly, Ruben Diaz's own goal, it was from the left side, Nelson Semedo's side, whipped across, and it hit his shin and went into the goal.
And that's the one that Kai Havertz was alongside him,
Yes,
right?
right.
Because, and if he didn't score that own goal, maybe Kai would have scored that one too.
Yes, I think
Yeah,
so. I think
it
that,
was similar to the one that they conceded against France. It's
Right.
yes,
a mirror image, because it's the same way.
The
At
ball
the time, it
came
was Theo
across.
Hernandez and just right flip across the goal,
Yeah.
and it put the defender in an awkward position. Them call it
Yeah.
the corridor of uncertainty.
Yeah.
If
Defender's
Pomel didn't do it
nightmare.
tonight, it would have been Benzema. So I mean,
Yeah.
it was the same kind of situation. It's good on the player who was attacking. The
Right.
defender is put in an awkward situation, and
Right.
the likely outcome was what
Right.
actually happened.
Own goal.
yeah, I do believe so. But I mean,
But
it
apart from that,
was,
Diaz had a good game to me.
yeah. Hopefully Jamal can come back on. But I just think that if I am the coach, Craig, I'm not starting Semedo again. I'm not starting him again.
Because the next game will be against France, right?
The next game is against France, and it's such a
And that side is
situation.
Mbappe. Mbappe plays on the left side, don't it?
Oh dear. So I am
Trouble.
going to have a man like
Trouble.
Nelson Semedo going against Mbappe. Semedo cannot defend, and Mbappe likes to attack fullbacks. I am not putting Nelson Semedo there. I am not putting him there, because they're going to have a field day. That's just all I'm saying. They're going to have a field day with Nelson Semedo over there. Trust me.
And if Portugal lose, that means then and if Portugal loses and Hungary
some beats Germany, then you're looking at, oh dear. Wow.
Robert needs to be on the call.
He needs to, because right now we have to go over. We have to look this over.
Group dynamic change.
We have to, because really and truly this is changing the entire thing. So let's see where we can. All right, we should be able to. All right, so you're seeing it, right?
Yeah, man.
All right, so Craig, Group A is done and dusted.
Yeah. Italy and Chris,
second.
I don't know if you want to talk about the team, but Italy is the team to beat.
Yeah, I think they are the team.
Italy playing like them say, Era. It's a what's miss last World Cup? Watch me out. Last major competition, the man them looking good. And I think is it a situation that the last 11 games they haven't conceded a goal yet?
Yes. And
Impressive.
I think they're unbeaten in over 20 games. I think they have now tied their own record for the most games unbeaten. So
impressive.
They are really, really good. We're looking at France and Portugal and Belgium and Netherlands, and we're not giving Italy as much of a looking as we are, and I think we need to start doing that. So Group A has been decided. Wales is second. Switzerland could not beat Turkey by 5 goals, so Switzerland ends up third, I believe, with 4 points. Wales has 5 and Italy has 9. So Italy exits the group perfectly, and Wales are second in the group. So Group B, now that we know a lot of stuff, Group B, what do you suspect? You think Russia comes out of this group, or what?
I think as is is going to remain as is, because I think Denmark, the whole Christian Eriksen situation, I think they're trying to play especially for him. So I'm gonna leave. I would leave it as is. Belgium, boy, the last games look shaky in the first half. King De Bruyne, come on,
and they really made a difference.
yeah, and it just shows you how impactful that young man is.
Yeah,
Everybody else talk about the hazards and things, but now, Bridget, De Bruyne are the man.
he has always been important, hasn't he?
Always been, yeah.
Because in 2018 he was very important for them. Of
Yeah.
course, the likes of Lukaku, but I think him and Mounier was the most important player for Belgium in 2018. So we'll see how that happens. But Denmark, I'm not sure. I would actually have Russia there because Denmark so far has lost their two opening matches. They're on 0 points.
Oh, they lost. Oh, yeah. Right.
So
you're right.
So they still do have a chance, as we
going to be hard
come back. So they do still have a chance because according to this now Group B, Belgium has 6 points, Russia has 3 points minus 2 goal difference. Finland has also 3, even though their goal difference is better than Russia, but they're head to head with Russia and with them and Russia. That's the difference. So they're doing head to head now first and then goal difference after.
And Russia and Denmark has that last game to play.
Yeah. So
tricky for Denmark. Yeah,
so Russia is going to face Denmark in their last game. Finland will be facing Belgium in their last game. So I probably have Russia.
Yeah, me too, because Denmark would have to win by at least 3 goals.
Yeah,
they don't have to win by 3 goals. If Belgium beat Finland, remember that's going to reduce Finland's goal difference as well. And if Denmark wins, that also reduces Russia's goal difference. So automatically it will go.
You're right.
So what do you guys say? Belgium, Russia, Denmark, Finland, or what? What's the consensus?
I see Belgium beating Finland. Maybe 3-0.
Easily,
And then I can see Denmark winning, but it's probably going to be a narrow victory. Yeah, but if they do win by 2 clear goals, they're automatically giving themselves the best chance that they could have. But I could see it a narrow victory though, so I'm not sure if they're going to get the 2, but it's not done and dusted.
Okay, all right. So we'd keep this shape for now. So we'd have
that's fair.
We'd have that. All right, so Group C, done and dusted, guys.
Holland is going to go through.
Holland is going. Holland has gone through. It has been confirmed because they won their 2 matches.
I think I'd give Ukraine the edge, though.
I would also.
Yeah, Ukraine. Yeah.
Austria looks very pedantic, and they don't look like they know what they want to do half the time. It looks like the entire game is based solely on where Alaba decides to play that game. So if Alaba lines up anywhere outside of the attack, you can expect that they're not going to do anything.
Yeah.
All right, so we have that right there. So then now we go to Group D. Scotland, we can put Scotland for it because after that match that they had, I thought Gilmour was fantastic in the match versus England. He was really good in that midfield.
Chelsea players really stamping their class, man.
All right.
That one is a Man City man.
No, he's
a man. What? I'm a football fan. I can't be a Man City man. If I were on Wall Street, maybe.
RPG.
So we really saw where Gilmour and we didn't see Gilmour as much this season, but based on that match versus England on Friday, he was really good.
Yeah, I'll tell you something. I saw that kid play last season, and I thought this is a proper player. He's young, obviously, so he's a bit rough around the edges, but I genuinely could see. The unfortunate thing is he's playing in a midfield with Kovacic and Jorginho and Kante and then they have players who they don't play like Ziyech and Havertz in those kind of midfield positions. I'm not. You see, the problem is you have to have been in a situation like his compatriot McTominay, because McTominay came through at a time when United had zero midfield.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah.
So he got his chance to shine, and it might be an unpopular opinion, but I think McTominay is the best young player coming out of United in recent times, and that is even with Marcus Rashford playing, because Rashford has a
Please don't talk about Rashford with Craig.
well,
Rashford not
the
good.
thing with Rashford is that he goes up and then plateaus for a while, then he probably goes up a little more, then he even dips and then
Yeah.
goes back up again. With McTominay, he's just been on a constant rise. It's like it's like one of them things when them tell you slow and steady win the race. He's just been slowly getting better and better and better. And it's only a matter of time before he's the captain of United. Never mind just the best midfielder that we have.
Yeah, he has been captain
Yeah, he's
already.
worn the armband before. That
McTominay.
was the day he scored the 2 goals, wasn't it? When he
Right.
wore the armband.
Mhm.
Gilmore had a good game in the EPL this year as well. Man. He got man of match.
Yeah, he's not
City. He played a game. I need to double check.
Gilmore. I'd have to
Yeah, man. He
recheck.
played a very good match. I think it was in an FA Cup draw. I think. I'm not sure. I need to double check.
It was a draw. I remember it was a draw, but I don't remember which game it was.
Yeah, he was
man,
pretty good. So
Yeah, man.
we would have to probably change the subjects because this is
First of all,
going-
Czech Republic is at the top of the group.
yes, they are.
I don't see that who they're playing. Croatia, right?
No, they're playing England next game.
Is that so?
Yeah.
Yes, they won that game against Croatia. Yeah,
And that match is I don't think England want to make the mistake. Well, I don't know if you want to say it's a mistake. Remember in the World Cup, they feel that's a weaker team, so end up playing a stronger team and vice versa.
To me,
I don't think they can afford that.
to me, this game requires Jack Grealish and Jadon Sancho.
This game depends on who starts. Simple as that.
But
It depends on who starts.
Southgate needs a creative winger and a man that is willing to work
Southgate
for
need a brain.
almost 90 minutes. Jack Grealish is a very them man they all when them tired, them still around.
Southgate need
That's
a
how
brain.
Jack Grealish plays.
The problem with Jack Grealish is that he gives England something different, but it's different too from what Southgate
accustomed to.
necessarily wants to do or is accustomed to the English fans and media. It's not
but
like
with what Southgate is accustomed to, Jamal, it's not bringing anything.
well, yeah, no.
Problem.
Me and you sit down, I know that. But at the end of the day, me and you sit down, yes, sir. So okay, sit down on the bench at Wembley. So I mean,
That's good. That's
we
okay.
can't put the decision for him. But
I understand. So I would have to have Jadon Sancho. This is going to be a very crucial game because now you have given Scotland confidence.
Yeah.
B, Croatia is not doing well. So now you're looking at a confident Scottish team versus a Croatian team that is not doing so hot. So now you're having if all of this is put into play, what is going to happen? Can you imagine if Czech Republic actually beats
England
and Scotland wins their game?
Which is not impossible. Exactly, and that's the dilemma you're looking at right now.
So you look at if Scotland beats Croatia 2-0 and England lose to Czech Republic
Maybe
even by
1-0.
England is in third at the moment.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So this group D is wide open.
Tricky.
it is, but it isn't at the same time. It's more wide open in the sense of who finishes where. In terms of who goes through, they all have a chance to go through because at the end of the day, certain results go a particular way. You could actually end up with teams having 7, 5, and 6 points, or 4 points. So any of those numbers would be enough to get you through the second round because there's not so many teams with 4 points right now. There's a lot that could get 4 points, but they're not very likely. And then everybody else is on 3 points. So it's wide open in terms of position. In terms of who go through, I think they're all pretty safe if they do what they need to do. All being, if Scotland get them win, if Croatia get their win, if Czech Republic gets the win, if England gets the win, if who draw, well, who draw. You get me?
But Jamal, the way England are playing right now, brother, you can't say yes, England are gonna give a good account of themselves. Right? When I was watching the match against Scotland on Friday, man, I said, come on, what's this? You
Yeah,
know,
you
don't
see,
call us to watch EPL, you know, and see the players,
it
play
is that.
differently.
It is that. There's that bias. But the thing about England, objectively speaking, like I said, without that EPL bias as a reference,
Right.
when you think about England versus Czech Republic specifically, and just England in general, the problem is less about what they do. It's more about what the other team is able to do against them.
Mm-hmm.
Because England didn't play that great against Croatia either,
No.
but they got a goal,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
Croatia didn't. So it's less about what England managed to do, because at the end of the day, if England don't do nothing and Czech Republic don't do nothing, two of them finish on 5 points. One of them
Right.
must go through, if
Yeah.
not both. You get
Right.
me? So they don't have to worry about what they can do so much as they need to worry about.
Having a need to win.
Right.
Right.
They don't really have that as much. To that end, I could see Southgate maybe trying out some people, or giving some people a chance that he hasn't given so far, and that bodes well, because one of the people he hasn't given a chance so far is Jadon Sancho.
Yeah.
You get me? And he's not played
Southgate doesn't know his
Rashford
team.
that much either up front.
Yeah.
In my mind, he should be looking to maybe rest some players where he can rest them, because it's not sewn up positionally, but it is pretty, certain in terms of going through. So he should be looking to rest some players. One of the players I would rest is Harry Kane. He looks out of sorts. Maybe he just needs a little breather.
And maybe
some
he's
of
still
the-
would
focusing
start
on his
Calvert-Lewin
future.
then?
Maybe he's thinking about his future.
and
As well.
all of those things could play
The
into it.
distraction, yeah.
You could play then with, in my mind, you play with a front three of Sancho, Grealish, and Rashford.
Yeah.
Right?
And
Foden
rest Mason
has
Mount
looked
up.
good, but
Yeah.
you're probably going to start him in the next round. So give him that break. Sterling the same thing. Either way, you could bring them both off the bench if you so choose later on. But you start with that front three. You see what if all three of them together can give you, and that gives you options going into the second round. And then the midfield can more or less sort out itself. Maybe you play Henderson, because Henderson, in my mind, I don't know why he's there, because he's not that good of a player in my mind to
Why?
necessitate his place on the team.
Jamal,
But
I guess leadership is the
that's why you would play him in this game, because you need a cooler head to keep the team together to get the result that is necessary, even if it's quote unquote a weaken the team that they play.
Jamal.
So I would
Alright,
play him
I
in this game.
understand.
And it's not one of them. And it's not one of them lucky Monday. Him just fly under the radar, getting on our side, and always a win with Liverpool. But you're right.
Listen.
He's not a standout player. Like, yeah.
He's not. I tell you something, and it is. I've been saying it for years, but it's that I take too long to say it, or I say it at the wrong time. Because I say for years, say out of all of the DMs or just centre mids that every top team in England has right now, Henderson is the worst.
Yeah.
And if you carry it go across Europe, it look even worse than that.
True.
But like I said, I choose the wrong time to say it, because them go win the Champions League and thump them out. Then them go win the Premier League and stamp on my toe. So
Yeah.
they could start again. But I mean, it's true. It's just, but the person that he is and the character
Leadership.
that he carries,
Yeah.
it is valuable. So I'm not going to say, left in a yard kind of good, because I mean, there's not much leaders in the team, and you want those kind of characters, especially in tournament football. And now when you're going into a game like this, let me say you probably have to rest some players. It might be a very changed 11. Frankly, you probably say Henderson get him chance in goal as well. You get me? So it might be a very changed 11. You're gonna want a leader on the field. Jordan Henderson gives you that.
All right, so just to give you a little update, Craig, because I know you want this update. Suns leading 105-98. Devin Booker has 34 points in that game. Cameron Payne is starting because Chris Paul is out because of COVID. So DeAndre Ayton 18.7 rebounds, Devin Booker 34 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists. Mikal Bridges 7 points, 2 assists, 1 rebound. Cameron Payne 11 points, 9 assists. Jay Crowder 13 points, and Cameron Johnson with 12 points. Of course, Paul George is now playoff Paul George, because he has 34 points in this game, 4 rebounds and 3 assists. Reggie Jackson is the only other person on the entire Clippers team that has double points. He has 22 points in this game. So,
which where Reggie Jackson come from?
I'm not sure, but that's the update on the scoreline. So I'm probably going to leave it. I'm probably going to change the Croatia one to Scotland here and have it here as the set. I do think that Czech Republic might have enough to go through. They do play England. If England and Czech Republic draw, then of course they will automatically go through. So we'll see how that happens. Group E now.
Wide
open. I think Sweden can win the group.
The last two groups especially
the
last one
are very wide open.
For sure, the last one.
So we saw where finally Robert Lewandowski gets his chance and scores in a Euro championship.
Although he missed a sitter earlier in the game.
Yes.
Yeah,
but I think that they will need all of Robert Lewandowski if they are to go through for this European Championship. Of course, as it currently stands, Sweden are at the top with 4 points. Slovakia are second. Hamšík and Slovakia are second with 3 points. Of course, Spain is third with 2, and Poland is fourth with 1 point.
Sir Chris, can I ask one question? That's just a random question. Jamal, you can answer me too. Who you think worse, Timo Werner or Morata?
Morata. You're not for
No, Timo Werner still.
No!
Timo Werner is not worse than Alvaro Morata.
Timo Werner, if he not have space to run into, half of him football cannot play. Morata brings more to a football field than just
Morata. Here's the thing.
You ask me who's
Jamal,
worse. I tell you who's worse. If you ask me who's a better goal scorer, then it's Werner.
Hold on there. I'm going to ask you, Jamal.
Yeah.
If I am running into space and I have a golden opportunity to score and win the game and I miss, does it really make sense to run into space, to be honest?
So that's what Werner does. That's what Werner does.
Morata is worse.
You ask me who's the worst player, and I tell you that Werner is worse than Morata because Morata is a very good player. Technically, he's brilliant. But if you ask me who's a better goal scorer, which is a different question, then Werner is a better goal scorer.
Morata's salt, brother. From Chelsea days. That's why we're not going to get rid of him, brother.
No. Not Chelsea alone for a long time.
Yeah, man. For a while. I think persons actually were blinded by the fact that he did so well coming off the bench at Madrid and Juventus that they're saying, okay, this guy is a very good player. But when starts,
but it's not a trick, you know. It's just that the man is not a clear. You know, the problem is we're looking at players like never mind the two aliens that play football right now. But we're looking at. I'm not just say we're not talking about alien, brother. But we're looking at man like Lewandowski. We're looking at man like Luis Suarez. Man like, you know, there's some very good strikers. Lukaku, you get me, Lautaro Martinez. Like, those are very good strikers. The problem is we probably start to compare anybody that shows more from a talent with those guys. He's not one of those guys. So he's not going to be the most clinical striker you find. But that's what I'm telling you. Fernando Torres there in a Chelsea jersey and look like complete rubbish.
That's true.
But look how much good play Torres makes in a Chelsea jersey at the same time. Why? Yeah. Because Torres is still technically a very excellent player. Not just good, he's an excellent player. So he could adjust his game to still provide some value to a team. Him just never does score as much. Morata is similar. He can provide more to the team. Him just not a clinical goal scorer.
Yeah. Jamal, we can't forget that mistake with Torres against your side, man. Against Man U, man. We can't forget that one, you know.
I don't think him forget it either, to be honest with you.
Beat the keeper.
I don't think the fan that was behind the stand can forget it either, because
round the keeper
or something.
And the
round the keeper and it was
and the man
them say him and got a loan.
He must be Muslim.
But let's get to this Group E because it's a very unpredictable group. As I said, currently, we would like to say bless up to Romel and Andrea, who is on the live. Watch out for Sweden. I'm gonna put this out here. So watch out for Sweden.
I have them topping the group.
So as it stands, this is how you have the group. I'm asking both of you.
No, I think Spain will get the job done.
Yeah, Spain.
So you have Spain in second. You have Slovakia third. because Slovakia is on 3 points, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the thing is, I'm not totally convinced that Sweden is going to top the group. They've
Okay.
done well so far, but they do play a negative game.
Question: if Zlatan was playing, you say the same thing?
Absolutely not. Zlatan was playing, they would have probably top the group. They would have probably got through it.
That's true.
Because against
right.
the Spain team that they played, if they had a Zlatan, it would have been a different outcome.
Yeah, man.
Because
Oh
remember,
yeah,
the
he would
Berg missed a
he would
six
definitely.
and Isaac played well.
Yeah.
I think one part of Zlatan's game that persons really should give him credit for, that you alluded to a different player, Jamal, is his link up play. He does
Yeah.
very well linking up.
Oh, excellent.
Very well. He's very underrated for that.
Yeah.
So I think that what would have happened is that even if he wouldn't necessarily get a goal in the game versus Spain, I think he would have actually assisted.
At least, yeah.
I believe so. That's just me. But so I'd have Sweden or Spain first or second, and Slovakia third, and Poland fourth for Group E. Then we get to the group of death.
Oh boy.
Currently,
Mash up my meds, brother.
France is topping the group with 4 points.
Mm-hmm.
Then Germany second after that thumping 4-2 victory against.
That Portugal match threw me off completely because I never expect that at all.
I did not expect, especially when Cristiano scored the first goal inside 15 minutes.
Man. Yeah.
I thought it would have been downhill for Germany. But then they came through and just shattered them. They took
actually
advantage.
expected Germany to win, but I didn't expect it to be so one-sided.
But the thing is, as you said before, Jamal, you cannot, if you're playing a Germany that is very good defensively, and I understand that, they have a team that is so. Remember, Joshua Kimmich was voted as midfielder of UEFA the entire Champions League tournament.
Yeah.
He was the midfielder last year. You're looking at Neuer, who was goalkeeper for the competition last year. Probably will be the goalkeeper for the competition this year too.
Really?
Really?
You think he might get over Italy keeper?
I think so. I think so.
Well, Donnarumma hasn't continued yet.
Although Italy keeper now work still.
So you're looking at Neuer, who is fantastic as a goalkeeper. On his average day, he's better than a lot of keepers, most keepers, on an average day. And you're looking at Joshua Kimmich, who I think is the second coming of Philipp Lahm. He is so calm and composed, and he can play wing back.
Yeah.
He can play in the midfield as well, which is what Philipp Lahm was known to do.
In players a right back who has attacking license. The problem he had in the France game was that he was asked to play wing back, and he's not a wing back.
That is the problem.
That is the same thing. Remember, Lahm never play no right wing back. Is he them play right back and play mid? It's the same thing.
That's the problem. That's the problem that they have.
Romeo said, Portugal's defending was, I know Portugal, brother, call him my name, Semedo. Semedo.
So, all right. So I want to ask you guys a question, and Jamal, I want to ask you first. If you're the Portugal, the Portugal manager, who would you start now in this game?
Against France?
Against France.
All right. So I would still go with the idea of two up front, not because I have any particular leaning towards that tactical move. I just think part of what is Portugal's problem right now is that they run everything through Ronaldo, but everybody in the world knows that, right? And there wasn't, especially in the first half against France, there wasn't much carrying that ball to him. It was more kind of reach it and see if he can reach it. You get me? He was stretching too much to get into the game. So I would go with two up front. I still think Andre Silva should be starting. So I would start him.
Yeah.
I think so too. Andre Silva has been fantastic for Frankfurt this season.
I would start him. I would play with I'd probably play with a 5-3-2, because Semedo obviously has no inclination to defend. So if you just put him on the wing and tell him for bomb forward and cover the spaces, and you don't give him the ultimate responsibility of defending somebody, you should be alright. Because remember, France particularly plays that 4-2-3-1. So you wouldn't necessarily have two players, one in half space and one out wide as Germany would, for you to cover at the same time. So if you play with three at the back then, or the back five, call it, you get me? You have Guerrero and Semedo continually providing that width to the front two. So they don't even have to move around as much. Right? They can just stay, the two of them in the middle, Ronaldo and Andre Silva can stay in the middle and bother defenders all day long. You get me? Ronaldo can pick up on Varane. He would know some ins and outs. You know, and probably bully him in training a few times. So have him there. Andre Silva can provide the support. You know, Kimpembe is a very good defender, so I don't think he's going to bully him as such. But at least he'd have competent target man up front with Ronaldo. The back three would be Pepe and probably Joseph Font. I'd play Danilo Pereira in the back three, simply because he would have the added technical ability of playing out, because you're going to ultimately probably need that, right? So when you're on the front foot, for example, he can step up and allow the three in midfield to move even a little further, you know, and get closer to the front two. And then you have somebody there who can shuttle across and pick up some loose ball and get it recycled very quickly, you know. But then maybe too, he would have responsibility covering in the half space there on the right hand side where Semedo isn't. But that's a different story. That's up to the manager. So it'd be Pepe to go through the full lineup. Rui Patricio in goal, Pepe, Danilo, Jose Font. Left wing back is Guerrero. Right wing back is Nelson Semedo. In the midfield, I would have João Moutinho. No. Would I go João Moutinho?
I
probably wouldn't, because if you're playing Danilo and he's going to step into that position, you're probably better off playing Renato Sanchez, Bruno Fernandes, and Bernardo Silva. Because Bernardo Silva now can get into those pockets of space, especially on the right-hand side, and provide across or link up with Semedo, who we expect to be bombing forward, with Fernandes, who will be getting forward just behind the strikers, with any of the two strikers who come short to him. And furthermore, he would probably be looking to drift wide as well, which would just cause an overload on the left side. And Theo Hernandez is not the best of defenders. Lucas Hernandez rather is not the best of defenders. Lucas, right? He's solid.
He is the better defender of the two brothers.
He is, but if you overload his side, it's probably going to be better for you. The problem that you have now is that Kante is probably going to be there to cover him. But if Kante is there covering, if Kante is there covering there, Bernardo Silva is technical enough to can make a quick switch up play. You know, Ronaldo and Andre Silva are clever enough to make good movements. So you're going to rely on some sharp movement from one of these players to kind of break away from those clogged spaces. So when Fernandes comes short and Kante is over there with Bernardo and Andre Silva and Nelson Semedo, there's a quick pass to Fernandes who can maybe play a quick pass to Ronaldo. You get what I'm saying? That's the patterns of play I can expect. So I would go with a 5-3-2 with the anticipation that Portugal would play in a 4-2-3-1 with more or less the same type of players that will be coming out. And that's the best way you can set yourself up to attack while protecting yourself against the defense. The worst thing in that lineup is that no one can match the pace of Mbappe or the movement of Benzema. But then that's true of all 8 billion people on this planet. So,
all right. So, Craig, your time now. What do you think you should do? Because
Jamal basically was saying what I was thinking, but his follow-up question was a question that I was going to ask as well. We know that France don't mind playing without the ball, but we know that the usual they break and they break fast. Who is going to be there with Mbappe? And I can see this France. Well, I am hoping that the game yesterday will not be a representation of how Portugal will play, because if they play that way against France,
France is going to destroy them if they play that way.
They're going to get bagged up. So
I think that they would concede more goals against France if they play that way, the way they played yesterday.
So if them can start out the defense and
I don't know.
try that pairing
All right,
with Ronaldo.
If we're talking about, all right, I would probably go for a 3-5-2.
But want to Joe Felix. No man call him on the name.
I'm wondering if he had contracted something, or if he had, because I don't think he was injured by then. I'm wondering if
he's not listed on the.
He wasn't on the bench yesterday. He wasn't.
That's what I'm saying. I'm wondering if he had to isolate or something. I remember Cancelo had gotten COVID, so maybe he specifically.
Probably he has it. Probably he has it as well.
I don't know. That's why I don't want to say that, but he maybe had to isolate because maybe the two of them were running together that closely that they needed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I don't know though. Do we even give a man? Well, he's not. He wasn't even on the bench, I believe.
No.
It seems as if and I'm not talking about Joao Felix. I'm talking about he wasn't on the bench. Diogo Dalot. So have Semedo in the squad, but I would have him as a wing back role because I want to tap into club football for a bit. And this is the reason why Victor Moses was used as a wing back under Conte and not necessarily a full back under Conte.
And it was effective.
And it was effective because you know that for the very next year, Inter Milan decided to scoop up Victor Moses for themselves. So I just think that you have him, but you have him in a more advanced role. So have him as a wing back, a right wing back, and have him advanced. So you have Jose Font, you have Nicolas Pepe and Ruben Diaz around the back as the three. And then you have Guerrero and Nelson Semedo as the left wing back and the right wing back. And then I just think that Andre Silva has been the most underrated striker in the Bundesliga, probably even in Europe this season. He was actually, I think, second to Robert Lewandowski. Nobody would have caught Lewandowski. Everybody and their grandmother know that. Nobody would have caught him. But he was second to Robert Lewandowski. And in an average season, he would have won Golden Boot. So I think that
with 28 goals, you don't want the Golden Boot almost anywhere else in Europe.
Yeah, he would have. He would have because 28 goals in the Bundesliga this season is not something that really happens often. So we're just going to take a look at some comments before we go even further because we need to talk about.
Could be.
Very tired. He played a lot of games this year. Probably he can't be more useful.
Because it's that first game against Hungary, he was very quiet. He was very quiet.
And I mean, Ole was known for using a lot of his first team players in a lot of games. So
13 man. The whole season. 13?
14. Go ahead.
14. Okay,
14.
Yeah. 14 Henderson going a goal. If it wasn't for Henderson, it would be 13.
Or be 13.
Would have been 13. All right. So Romeo says Bruno and Bernardo were very poor.
Yeah, Bernardo Silva did look really under the cosh for real. I'm not sure what was going on with him. Maybe Felix could have come in and take his position. By the way, because Chrissy had said Ruben Diaz in the back, I completely forgot about him, to be honest with you.
I don't know how in God's name you forgot the PFA Player of the Year.
Because he wasn't my PFA Player of the Year. I wouldn't have picked him.
Who you thought should have been PFA Player of the Year?
I would actually have given it to De Bruyne instead.
Yeah. I thought De Bruyne would have won it as well.
Yeah,
because you could have seen the missing link when De Bruyne was gone.
Yeah.
You could have seen it. And
I don't mind him getting it though, because like so many other people would have said in the past, I don't like the idea of the best players having to automatically be a forward or a midfielder. Because in my mind, they aren't necessarily, because I can understand a midfielder winning it every time. When you think about it, they play on both sides of the game. You know, no matter how limited one side might be, they're defending and attacking. a forward only has to score. I say only has to score, but it's one job to focus on. A defender, likewise. That's why Keelan, when he make a block, you see him fist pump and take off him shirt and wait. No, he never do that. But I'm just saying, they celebrate those things because that is their goal, so to speak, for the game.
Right.
But a defender winning is not a problem for me because he wasn't just any old defender anyway, and he played well as a player. Like Cancelo looks really good as a player, not as a right back. He played really well as a player, so I didn't mind it. It's just I wouldn't necessarily have given it to him. I still think Kevin De Bruyne is the best player in the world right now.
All right.
Is the best player in the world?
Well, I don't think best player in the world because I think
no, but
at this
I think
moment.
I can understand. No, hold on. We are step sidetrack a little bit. Look here. He says a Chelsea man, and as I said, the tackle was unfortunate. You see that little professional foul Rudiger made on him in the Champions League final? That was the turning point,
Haven't we seen that before? Think 2016 against Portugal versus
Liverpool.
France. Portugal versus France. That was the same thing. What boy name? When man used to play for West Ham. Payet. I was what Payet was trying to do to Ronaldo.
Ronaldo, yes. And I think they did it to
and Ramos did it to Salah. Yeah.
And Cannavaro did it to Henry in the 2006 final.
2006 final, right?
So what the thing is, no, Rudiger never go there and say, "Man, broke the man face."
No.
But it's one of them things where you say, "You got to play hard."
Hold on. With one the Ronaldo over there, I don't put nothing past that man.
Well,
I nibble for one back and I pinch him for the nipple and them.
Well,
and before he said, "We are willing to do anything to stop them." He said it. So I don't understand how they get a card and nobody ever look into it.
Well, like I said, man, I think him go there for broke him face.
No.
But he definitely went up there and said, "I'm gonna play him hard." You get me? It's just one of them situations that happen sometimes in football. Ramos, for example, never intend to pull out Salah shoulder out of attack it, but him want draw him down and play him and make him know him there. You get me? These things happen. So
he could have, him fall him, he could have let him go. He pulled him down, but add insult to the injury.
It wasn't that foul to begin with. It had just been
that 50-50 ball.
Yeah, right.
All right, so we don't want to get.
But Chris. But also remember though in the Portugal match yesterday now. You remember that cracker that Sanchez hit?
Renato Sanchez had, it was a bullet. It was
a bullet. Score. The game would have changed them because
that the post before nobody knows them kick it at the.
What brother? No, because the goalkeeper didn't even look at the ball when it hit.
I literally never see it. I was watching the TV. I never see the ball.
I saw the goal rattle. That's the only thing I saw.
But see it, I'm saying kick the ball, don't it? And then I just hear ping. I said, "Well,
and in a slow motion, I see the ball move fast."
Yeah.
That to me that would have been the turning point for Portugal. Had it gone in, that would have been the turning point for Portugal.
The momentum had shifted and Germany
really and truly, I am actually very happy for Renato Sanchez. Because remember, he was the young player for Euros 5 years ago.
When the golden ball that year, did he?
He was the young
golden
player.
Boy, rather. Was he the golden boy that year?
Yes, he was the golden boy that year. He won golden boy that year, and he just has been had a slew of bad club experiences. I think that Lille. He has found his home at Lille and he has been doing very well. And they won the league. So I think he has been very good. And the 2 games that he has played, that came on in those 2 games, he has been pretty good.
Yeah, he made a difference, which is why I think he should start in this game. He gives more dynamism to the midfield because Fernandes is a good player, but he's not the dynamic one in the midfield. He's just the guy that would give you the final oomph.
Yeah. Sanchez is a direct player. He's direct. He always wants to go to goal. Yeah, man. And full of running.
Somebody says that can we take a moment to appreciate Hungarian coach, Italian man Mario Rossi. He started from semi-professional football and now he's at the Euros stopping France. I just thought that they played their game very well. They were behind. They were just a counter-attacking team. They were behind the ball, and when France made a mistake, which really and truly gave them that oomph, because If France had not made a mistake that game, I think probably they would have gotten 3 points in that game. I think it just contributed to France playing that game. But what a game by Schaefer. Schaefer was fantastic, and Roland Shalai was absolutely fantastic as well for Hungary. So those two, I think, were the difference maker for them.
Can I say though, to Andrea's point, not necessarily about Hungary specifically, but I mean, isn't it something to can see some of these players that we would have watched coming out here and doing the business as a manager now? It's kind of crazy. Because I mean, Mutam could have been ahead of our time, but he's doing the same thing. But yeah, you see man like Andrei Shevchenko. Are you kidding me? He's kidding me. He's doing the business, you know. And then Thierry Henry, he never quite worked out in club football, but I mean, he's done good work at Belgium.
He was the assistant coach for them when they were there in 2018.
That's what I'm saying.
And Luis Enrique for Spain.
Luis Enrique as well, So it's really something seeing the players that we would have seen coming through. You kind of look and say, was he that old or am I getting old? But
you want to get old, man. You want to get old.
Nice to see. I don't want to call it so still, but it's nice to see.
So Ramel Montague says no room for Jota in the lineup.
No, I wouldn't start Jota. Somebody made a point the other day that was a very good point, because I always felt like something about Jota didn't make him seem prime to me, and they made the point, and it was right in my mind anyway. What they said is that Jota is not necessarily the guy or even the guy before the guy. He's more profiteering off the good work of his teammates. So he's more about a finisher of movement than he is actually a creator or even a starter of those moves.
The thing is, that's why I wanted to make the point, Jamal, because even when he was at Wolverhampton Wanderers, he wasn't the main guy. It was Raul Jimenez.
Right.
And
even from midfield would have been man like Neves and Moutinho.
Right. And then now, even the guys attacking up front, it would have been Adama Traore as well.
There you go. And Foden's on the other side. He was never really the guy. He was just very good at closing out moves, which is in and of itself a valuable asset to have as a player.
So you do need somebody that pounces.
Look at even the second goal against Germany. Ronaldo is obviously the man, and he's obviously the one everybody will be aiming for a set piece. But it's put in a position him couldn't do nothing more with it. Him put it back cross goal, and obviously it's Jota at the back post to put it in. That is a skill in of itself. So not taking anything away from him as a player or anything. I just think you want more directors. You want a player who can actually do it, not somebody who's waiting for somebody else to do it so they can do something.
All right. So somebody else, well, big up yourself, Big Rob. He says Jota has to start.
Hold on, is that Big Rob as in Robert?
Yes, he needs to be here.
Jump on. No.
Big Rob.
This man is a Portugal man, so I'm kind of hiding. Last week he might talk big, say, Portugal.
Portugal he says,
France and...
hold on, no. He says Portugal can't lose. That's what he said.
And Portugal are going to kill Germany. I'm say, all right, brother. All right. Yesterday after the first goal, we can't talk to you now. No, boy, say, all right, brother, cool. You see, after Germany got more 4, we say, Robert, you're good. All right, man.
So, all right. So, what we want to do now is just finalize Group F. So, what you guys say for Group F?
Do you see? I can see Hungary getting a draw with Germany. I can actually see it. So
currently, like I said, Group F. Let's look at Group F. So currently, for Group F, it's France, Germany, Portugal, and Hungary. So do you see Portugal
right?
third?
Yeah.
So Portugal being third, Germany second, Hungary last. All right, so pick the 4 best third place teams, guys. Would have Portugal in there?
Hold on. See, I put Portugal for come second and for come third.
I mean, are they beating France?
I think there's going to be a draw in that. I think they're going to draw.
I think they're going to draw in that game.
I think it's a scoring draw too. So maybe even a 2-2, if not a 1-1.
Yeah,
and I could see Germany winning their game.
Yeah,
Even if it's going to be harder than it should be, I could see them winning their game.
Okay.
So you have Germany winning that group then?
Yeah, Germany would win the group. France would come second, and Portugal finish third with 4
Alright.
points.
All right, so the best third place guys. So you have Switzerland, Denmark, Austria, Scotland, Slovakia, and Portugal.
That's based on how we had put it up already, right?
No, that's based on the final
That we've
standings
done.
for
Okay.
the groups that we predicted.
So all right, so who has 4 points already?
All right, so the teams that have 4 points already in third is Switzerland. Switzerland is the only team that has 4 points and in third place.
So they're pretty safe, I'd say.
Switzerland, so you'd have Switzerland, okay. Let's see who has 3 points. I know that Portugal has 3.
Austria has 3 and they're in third.
Austria, and who is Austria playing again? Ukraine, right?
Austria is playing Ukraine, right, in the final game. I think Ukraine might win that one.
I think Ukraine would win, but Austria probably has a good chance of getting a draw out of it as well. So
Finland is third.
Because here's the thing, right? Scotland have 1 and Slovakia has 3 as well. And Denmark has 0. So you're looking at teams that already have some points in the bag that they can build on. Because put it here this way, if nothing changes with their situation by the end of the match days, then it's just gonna have to be the guys that already have points. So I would put Scotland basically at the root of that. Scotland and Denmark could be at the root of this thing right now.
Denmark have to come out then. Finland have to go thing look at. Finland
right.
Has 3
so
points.
There's so much riding on it. Like I said, if nothing changes for them, at the end of the final day, those teams don't have a prayer. So you're looking at Switzerland, you're looking at Portugal, and you're looking at Slovakia and Austria. Those 3 teams already have some points in the bag. Finland would have had a chance, but I just don't see them beating Belgium.
All right, so round of 16 now, Belgium versus Slovakia.
So you put Slovakia, you put Switzerland, and who you put Portugal?
Switzerland, Slovakia, Portugal, and Austria.
Okay, all right. I can go along with that.
So Belgium and Slovakia.
Belgium.
I think that's pretty cool.
Italy and Ukraine. Italy has been fantastic this tournament.
Italy.
They've been very good.
The favorite right now, brother. Italy look hot.
All right, Germany versus Switzerland.
Germany.
England versus Spain.
Why? Spain,
England.
The
thing with Spain is that Spain don't have no thrust. They just pass around the ball,
and they don't have a potent person up front.
They don't have that. The thing with England is that England have to play properly, but even when them don't play properly, you can still expect them to score a goal.
Yeah, because wasn't that their MO in the World Cup in 2018?
There you go. Spain, if we're talking about World Cup 2018, then you know what Spain look like. So
left to right. That's about have 80% possession and no shot to go.
What was it? 900 passes and about
all left to right.
75% of them was.
Yes, I remember that game. Oh my Lord. Over 900 passes and still could. And I thought, was it the game versus Russia?
Who?
Portugal will beat France.
Yes.
Delete that comment.
All right.
So,
yeah. So Sweden versus Austria.
Sweden.
Yeah. Czech Republic versus France.
That's France.
Netherlands versus Portugal.
Don't say it like there's no drama in it. And I'm a Netherlands supporter, but me I tell you there's no drama in it, brother. Portugal have.
Why the Ronaldo effect?
No. Well, yes, I'm a Ronaldo fan, but I'm saying as a Netherlands fan because I actually support Netherlands, or at least I like the team. Me I tell you straight, not now come out of that game.
From the Memphis Depay.
What about Memphis Depay? Barcelona by the time some of them now what?
He's one goal away from
it has been confirmed, so.
It confirmed. So yeah, that is what is about Memphis Depay. I go Barcelona when it done. He used to play for United. Why say want to know about it? Know about 20.
No, I know the guy, man.
So Wales versus Russia.
I can see Wales beating this Russia team.
I could too, but I more see Russia beating Wales.
Because Wales didn't play. They didn't play bad today against Italy. They didn't play bad.
They didn't win, which is
Gareth Bale get a sit up on him left foot and kick the ball over the bar.
So that means that I would have Russia. I think that if you give Artem Zuba those kind of chances, he's burying them.
Yeah, man, Zuba ball is a different kind of football.
Zuba is a very good ball. He's a good goal poacher, and he showed it in 2018.
He is probably the most atypical target man of the tournament right now. Everybody else is kind of a makeshift upfront guy. Zuba is what you look at as example when you're talking about target man football.
Yeah.
So and the whole team is set up well to complement him. Wales is a better balanced team, but they don't have a clinical bone in them body. So
yeah, so Big Rab says that Morata won't score, England will win. We had already decided that game. I don't know why Big Rab not coming on to the live, because
this game between Belgium and Italy could have been an excellent finals, man.
He would have been, but
a good finals.
Based on the run of form, this is difficult to call.
Italy not get them tested, and I think, if De Bruyne, I can't hear what.
If De Bruyne starts, I think Belgium might clip it from Italy.
No, he will start.
Here's why it's not a difficult one, because Italy, at the end of the day, it can look as pretty as you want it to look. You're talking about getting goals. Belgium literally didn't do anything for 75 minutes against who was it? Finland.
No,
not Finland.
Then Denmark.
Not Denmark, man.
No, Denmark, them play over there.
Yeah, they played Denmark with it, but none of them might go to first. Who them playing in the first game again? Remind me. Russia. Denmark, yes. Belgium never did nothing for 75 minutes against Russia, but they were already 2-0 up. Yeah. Right? Because why? Them will finish their chances. Mm-hmm. They similarly 45 minutes. Them pay respect to Christian Eriksen for 45 minutes, and then in the second half, them decide to play football, and them score 2 goals and win the game.
Yeah.
Right? Italy, similarly, sometimes look like them not going to score. Or not them not going to score, but they look like they're struggling to score. And Belgium is defensively good enough to repel more than one goal against them. So they're probably going to concede a goal. But Belgium is far more likely to score on the other end. So when you're looking at
this Italian defense, they're mean and stingy.
Listen, don't let it trick you, because when you play Turkey and Wales and whoever, it's one of them things where it kind of trick you, because you look and you say, oh, them play well, then them go through the group stage and you say, yo, them look hot, but they're not playing nobody yet. So when they play somebody, somebody's weaknesses what them have would start to show up. And I think as a unit, Italy defend better than Belgium. Man to man, Belgium probably defend better than Italy.
Yeah, the better.
If we're talking about who going to score more goals, and at the end of the day, that is what decides a football game. No matter how we feel about the 90 minutes that played out, it is the goals that count. Belgium is more likely to score than they are.
And Lukaku would have been used to these Italian defenders.
Look, there you go. So there's that edge. Lukaku over the defenders. De Bruyne coming in for Dries Mertens starting. Who play on the left normally? Carrasco, you get me? Hazard, Torgan Hazard is really good. I don't know if anybody knows. He actually look quite good.
Look better than him, brother.
But we know that and we know why. But Eden Hazard hasn't looked that bad either. He's not looked terrible.
No,
because we would have probably expected him to look like a fat slob. But him actually look like he want to play some football. So
as I said, Jamal, I guess based on what we've expected or what we've grown to know of him and expect of him, then we'll say that he's fallen off.
Absolutely. You know that. I thought he would have looked just as bad, to be honest, because there was nothing to say he would have looked better. But he has looked better than what he's looked like recently. So so you have all those things going for them. And then, like I said, man to man, they defend well enough to prevent getting 2 and 3 goals scored against them. And then at the other end, they would get 2 and 3 goals for themselves. So that's why I say it's not hard. It's gonna be a good game, and it's probably gonna end like 3-1 or something. But it's Belgium over Italy.
Okay. All right. So Big Rab says that Italy to win over Belgium. Andrea says Italy is more complete. Belgium has more talent.
Yeah. So that's as a unit, they defend better. They probably even attack better as a unit as well. but man to man, and in terms of getting the result that is necessary. So on the defensive end, it's keeping goals out, and on the attacking front, it's getting goals in.
Right.
On that basis, Belgium are more likely to keep Italy from scoring too much, and they're more likely to score themselves than Italy is able to keep them out. Which is why, when you just look at it face value, simple like that, that's what it is. Now, at the end of the day, these are two top teams, so any card can play. But
Right.
if you're talking about predicting, that's just how you really have to look at it logically, because outside of that, it's going to be feeling.
You're
All
right.
right. So,
And feelings, Robert, he was a holy. Big love. Big love. But Portugal are win the Euro.
There you go.
all right. So, England versus Germany.
Germany, And the reason why I'm using it, I'm using the historical. Just like when Germany meet Argentina more while. Take a set for Argentina. Yeah, Argentina can't beat them. I think it's the same with England. I don't know.
So, Jamal, you agree?
I honestly can't think of a reason to put one team over the other, so I'll
We have
just
to
defer
choose
to
one.
Chris for this one. I'll just defer to you on this one. You say I use the history, me just go with that. That's something. So fine.
No, look here. I just have a feel. All right. No, but based on what history has shown, well, I don't know. History always do England some form of injustice, but I just don't. And based on how I've seen Germany play, trust me, I think they would give England a lot of trouble because England just plays static and one-sided and
But it come back to what we said before. What we say, England to win a game depends so much on who starts the game.
Yeah,
But then at the end of the day, we know who's the one calling the shots as far as that's concerned. So we know where I'm gonna go with, and we know where him should have go with instead. So
yeah, Southgate don't know him best team up to now.
I don't think he does.
Up to now, years in, he still don't know.
So we go with Germany as well for that.
So the last 5 matches that England has played against Germany, they've lost 4-1, 1-0. They've won 3-2, lost 1-0, and drew 0-0. The last match they played was November of 2017. So
based on the pattern, that means they're going to lose 2-1 then. All right, that's not bad.
all right. So we go to the other round of 16. Sweden versus France. Portugal versus Russia.
Portugal. Me can't. Virgin, it's the Ronaldo effect, brother. I don't know.
Yeah, the
Ronaldo effect is real enough.
Isn't it crazy we reached the semifinals and 3 of the group of that then as semifinals right now?
Yeah. Imagine that.
So it's a group of that versus everybody at that. So you change the name of the competition.
Yeah, group of that.
That's true. So the first semifinals, Germany versus Belgium.
Belgium.
And then France versus Portugal.
Well, I guess by the end of the group stages, we know that we go. Because we're going to see it play out and we get a hint for what going to happen to that one.
Well, I mean,
all right.
We'll
so
see
if them go draw,
based on what it is.
Look, they play the group stage game and we all comfortably say it probably go in a draw, correct?
Yeah.
Right. You can't end in a draw semi-final. So them go the extra time. France have more depth in everything than Portugal. I think that will take them over the line. That is hugely caveated. We talk one big goal, enormous asterisk if Ronaldo doesn't do something.
Right.
So I have since the man I come back with the feelings again.
Portugal,
I have France to win in extra time. But short of Ronaldo being Ronaldo, that's probably what it's going to be.
We predict Belgium to face off again. You guys think France will finally win?
Finally win?
I'm not finally win. Belgium will finally win.
Belgium will finally win.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. France won in 2000.
2009.
Oh, that's what I mean. Win the tournament because them lose the finals last year.
Yeah, they lost the finals 5 years ago against Portugal.
So. All right. Well, this is the game, isn't it?
Belgium, France.
You want to see? Yeah, this is the game.
France. Yeah.
Big France.
I think they still have that. I think they still have that confidence from the World Cup and that medal. And also that daunting record that says what every time, well, for the past 20 something games,
24 games.
Kante and Pogba play together, them no lose.
They've never lost, and they've had 4 draw in those games.
And
21 wins and 4 draw.
And Kante being the pending FIFA World Player of the Year, brother. Can't root it.
So Craig, that is excellent analysis. Now for my vote, I go on to do something.
All right.
Heads or tails?
Heads.
France.
I have actually have France to win
Well, there you go.
So
You're
we'll have
first. France will win Euros 2020.
we'll have that. All right. So we'll go to another important topic before we go. So we're going to look at this right here. Hope you guys can see it.
Yeah, I've seen it.
All right.
Kind of small, but I've seen it.
All right. Yeah, no worry, man. I will.
The plus one. So the plus the right is beside it. Beside the rotate. I see it still.
I'm on my phone, so let me just rotate the screen, see if it makes it a little better. Yeah, it did. Okay, I'm good.
All right. So we're looking at Jamaica's provisional 60-man squad.
You all sing the anthem before? You all sing the anthem first? Eternal Father, bless our land.
So, I'm gonna read out the players.
I can ask one question. Jamal, what do you think about the current national coach?
And be very honest.
Well, I think, you did brilliantly. 98, I never much people could have scored a goal. So, you have to really applaud him for that.
I said coach, not as a player.
He's the hero against Japan. So, all kudos to him. Yeah, well done. Excellent play.
All right. I say no more. All right. Chris, but you know, Chris.
Let's start. Let's start.
You must be asking about the player. I mean, because as a coach, you win.
So, all right, let's start with the players now. I'm gonna read out all of the players and see which players.
While you pick them out, Chris, so I don't cut to really answer your question about Tapa. He's a product of this environment. Yeah, we don't have that kind of culture of coach education in the country. We don't have that kind of cerebral football. We don't have that kind of intellectualizing of the game, that appreciation for. Look, there's a reason why in certain parts of the world, in like leagues and things, you have a manager would show a hissy fit because of what him title say. Because the man is not a head coach, he is a manager. Why? Because there's so many aspects of football managing, of getting a team prepared, than simply tell a man, you go play on right back and you go play left back. There's more to football than that. So there's not just the tactics even. You get me? Me can sit down and say, give a tactical analysis. That don't make me a football coach, let alone a manager. You get me? You need to can coach actually and player on the training pitch and get him to understand the tactics at hand, get him to know which part into the almost like second nature to him. You get me? There's the motivational side of it. There's the psychological side of it, exactly what I was saying a while ago. There's a sports science behind it. So the medicine that goes into preparing the body and keeping yourself fit and healthy, if you can run at the absolute hardest for the next 5 and 6 weeks.
And recovery.
Couple games. You get me? And recovery, which is essential. That is also another part that you need to take in consideration. Because when you play a man for 90 minutes, and you know say I play the next game 3 days later, the man will play 90 minutes. Now, when necessary, can play the next 90 minutes. If you're never at in peak physical condition prior to the game, or anything less than a good recovery afterwards. You get me? There's so many things to the football more than what it actually is portrayed as from the managerial standpoint in Jamaica. And the fact that Tapa doesn't have that kind of training and backgrounding to get him prepared to do that kind of thing. What he's done then in the time that he's been there, he's not going to do much better than that. And that's the truth of it. Winfred Schaefer come in and do what he could do as well. But then now the problem of culture or the lack thereof landed on the players and not on him, and JFF specifically. So he's a product of his environment, like I said, because right now we have a decent crop of players that need coaching, that need actual guidance. They're not getting that. They don't have the support of JFF, and I don't mean them, the players only. I also mean the coaching staff. They don't have the support of JFF as they would need, you get me? Or JFF, for whatever reason, is incapable or reluctant to give the support that they would need. So when you consider those factors that are around him, at the end of the day, you just have to look and say, yo, give thanks, yeah. Because in other situations, A, it could have been much worse. B, him is at least personable enough to can work with the foolishness and just, go on to the job at hand. And C, the team don't look terrible. Right now, we're the highest rank that we've been in 20 years. You get me?
So, except the last match, though, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, look. I never him take charge of the game, to be honest.
No, he wasn't the coach in that game. As
Glasses. Name again?
Jerome Waite. He was the coach in that game. I don't know what he was doing.
On aggregate, you get me, across the whole something that yeah, Paul Hall got the assistant coach.
Yeah, he's now the assistant coach.
Across the length and breadth of his tenure, I can only applaud him. I don't know how some people could are working in an environment like they have been doing. Players don't need motivation to play for their country. They just need to get the respect from the organization that gets them in. Managers, on the other hand, they need all of the above and more. So on his part, he's doing well. I just wish him could have get more support. And if we had a better option, then maybe we should take it, but I don't think we do. So kudos to him for all that he's done. So fun and joke aside, it's not the best thing in the world, but the only one we have.
Yeah, 100%. So going through, excellently said, Jamal. So we're going through the provisional squad right now. So
I would have named it Hector. You know, scratch the name there off my list, man. Scratch the name there, man. So they get one of the high school youth them and put him in there over and kill him up. No. I'm sorry about that. Yeah. This will go public, don't it? Sorry about
that. All right, so we're gonna read through this. Hopefully, I can see it better. So we have Jashawn Angling, Mikel Antonio, Leon Bailey, Dylan Barnes, Amari Bell, Andre Blake, Brian Brown, Javane Brown, Corey Burke, Norman Campbell, Akeem Chambers, Jordan Cousins, Javon East, O'Neal Fisher, Junior Flemings, Kemar Foster, Owain Gordon, Andre Gray, Wesley Harding, Michael Hector, Kevon Isaacs, Daniel Johnson, Dane Kelly, Amal Knight, Kevon Lambert, Kemar Lawrence, Gregory Lay, Luca Levy, Damian Lowe, Jamal Lowe, Tariq McGee, Kemal Malcolm, Adrian Mariappa, Chevon Marsh, Dwayne Miller, Liam Moore, Ricardo Morris, Ravel Morrison, Colorado Murray, Shamar Nicholson, Deva Orgill, Casey Palmer, Kahim Paris, Ethan Pinnock, Alvis Powell, Bobby Reed, Ladale Ritchie, Kemar Roof, Kevin Stewart, Ajani Talbot, Dennis Taylor, Curtis Tilt, Blair Turgott, Peter Vassell, Lamar Walker, Javon Watson, Jadine Wright, Devon Williams, Romario Williams, and Shavani Willis. So, guys, what
Alex Marshall named the panelist, eh?
No. Bless up, coach. Bless up, coach. Coach's desk. Bless up yourself. Evenings. Bless up yourself, coach. Always good to see you. As well. So, what do you guys think about the provisional squad? And who do you think should have been excluded and included?
I don't tell you who should have come off of the list there.
Yeah. But who should have been included? Who do you think should have been included?
I can't think of anybody who warrants take out this man and put in this man kind of situation.
Yeah.
Did Fleming's name come?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Flemings is in there.
Yeah.
Um,
And him not bad at all.
yeah,
No,
he's
but I thought Marshall would have been on the list.
Alex?
Yeah. Not necessarily as a, but as
Yeah.
a provision, that is a young player, but
Yeah.
it's not.
Well, I mean, enough time, I suppose. Maybe that's the thought process. Or maybe him just now. Because he's playing in the
In Canada.
second division in Canada. The second division or the first division? I don't
No,
want
first
to
division in Canada.
the first division.
Hillfox.
It's second on the North American pyramid.
Yes, it's Hillfox. He plays for Hillfox Wanderers at the Canadian Premier League.
Right. So maybe too that doesn't help him because it's not a league that they probably can follow as much to really.
Then maybe if he was probably like in MLS or in Europe, he would have.
No. Maybe if he was, because him could have still decided Atlantic. Maybe if he was playing though in the US, where them could have tracked him a little better.
Yeah,
because
I think he would have
there's
been.
only about 12 teams in the Canadian Premier League, so it's not as though it's Premier football. This the name, So I can't really say hard done by. Probably just maybe just not quite ready. Some man who in there though never have in there, but just a provisional team because we can't carry 60 man gotta go.
So all right, so guys, you have to put on your thinking cap now. Who do you have as the 23-man squad? Like those are the players that will be going.
All right. So I had made some jottings a while ago based on this. I have not seen him like play for us yet, but I try Mikel Antonio. Well,
all right. So I'm gonna.
The names that stood out for me: Mikel Antonio, Leon Bailey,
hold
Fleming.
on. Bailey, Junior Flemings.
Yeah. Mikel Antonio, Andre Blake. The two low them.
Kamal Lowe and Damian Lowe.
Yeah. Javon East. Tell me something. Kemar Lawrence up on the list?
Yeah. Taxi's there.
Oh, yeah, Taxi Lawrence. I would give Maggie a shot, although I'm still young.
Who?
But like
Tyree.
Come on.
Maggie, yeah, all right.
Yo, I'm still think that you there was sweet left foot, brother. I don't know.
Yeah, he's a very good left footer. He's a very good left footer.
But I also hope that he has been doing gym work, forget big and
don't forget stronger, because he plays in the middle of the park. You have to be strong if you're playing in the middle of the park.
Morgan and Wiggledon. You want somebody for you.
Yeah, you need some strength. So that's 9 players,
Height either, because he's not tall either. He's a shorter player, so definitely gonna need some.
And that's why I said he needs some strength, because Kante is not the tallest player, but Kante is very strong.
I was gonna say that. Look at
but it's a different type of player though, because Kante just needs to put him footage part in for that. Maggie need to hold on.
Yeah, but it's very difficult. It's very difficult to get Kante off and ball,
Very strong enough.
Very difficult.
No, I'm not discounting what you're saying. I'm just saying that for his purposes, Kante's purposes, he don't need it as much as Maggie would need.
Right. You need to hold the ball.
You need to control it. Now look, he has the technical ability for controlling, but and keep it away from who he need to keep it away from, at least long enough to make a pass. We know this. I don't think that is him though. It's just a matter of when maybe I'd bet, for example, a Kante. If Kante is somebody who can stick to you like that, Kante and him go for a ball, he would easily shrug off Maggie because he just have that strength. That's where the strength come in, and that's where he would have needed.
True.
Yeah, so that's 9 players,
I know, but forgive me. Those are the names that just stuck out for me.
That just stood out.
I would include, so going from the latest set of players that play with it, I would also include man like Amari Bell. Don't think he look bad. Blair Turcotte, could I get a game in my team?
Yeah, Turcotte is a good player. I think you see once you have Taximan Lawrence there, I think he's gonna play much better, because Turcotte plays well when the wing backs link up with him, because that was the name of the game when he was playing with Amari Bell. Bell and him in the Serbia game linked up very well.
Right.
And he played very good. So if you can get Taximan, who no doubt has been the best left back in MLS for the past decade, we can say. if you can get him to play his regular game, I think he was dealt a raw deal when he went to Anderlecht. But if you give him time to link up with Taximan, I think he would really add something. But he's not going to start over Leon Bailey. That for certain.
Leon Bailey game kind of.
You recall Andre Gray, correct?
Andre Blake?
Andre Gray.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
All right, so you can include that. I think that's an obvious one, to be honest.
Yeah.
One,
is Ravel Morrison on that list?
He is, and he should be included too.
Yeah, man. He had an excellent game. Yeah, man.
He should also be included.
Yeah, man. I must say, just to name them when he kind of accustomed to me, kind of call out.
I could name one of them on that. What should I get Charcoal from 2008? Javon Watson. Walker.
Yes, I'm still wondering how is it possible.
I think he's the only person on that whose name is unattached, apart from Morrison. I think he's the only unattached player.
Watson is unattached.
Yes, I know. For what? For what? What is he carrying? Am I carrying the juice then?
I'm peel orange.
Did not come and table football wise. I must say the cloth
I think one other person that needs to be there is Liam Moore as well.
Liam Moore as well. I named the company Ethan Pinnock. Mariappa, Ethan Pinnock as well.
Yes.
Ethan Pinnock can
also, how come you mention Alva Spoil?
No, you call Shamar Nicholson name. Then if I know have brother and a 23 over pick, we get there. Shamar Nicholson as well. I don't think he's full of
17. And I have 6 more because I included Nicholson, Mariappa, Powell.
Dwayne Miller as backup goalkeeper. We'll probably walk with 3 of them. So who played that?
Dwayne Miller. All right. So he's the one that played in the game versus Japan.
No, I don't think so. No, 2 different. Dennis Taylor.
Dylan Barnes. But Barnes never played bad for us in goal. He did terrible defenders.
Defensive missing.
Dennis Taylor was for the Japan game. I don't know. Maybe right now as we talk, I'm not convinced. But I mean, there's been not plenty, but there's some time in between to probably change my mind. But yeah, but I go with the keeper from the first game.
So Miller, you'd have Miller in that?
Yeah, Miller and Dylan. Those 2 players, Dylan Barnes.
Miller and
what do you think about this guy? I think his name is Holness.
Omar Holness?
Yeah, what do you think about him?
No, not captain for the under 17 World Cup team, man. The only thing what happened to that youth that will make him never even reach further than my mind is the heart condition when him they have the time of stop him from playing football. I'm surprised him even.
So never play recently. You know what he play? Come on.
He did. That's what I'm saying. I was surprised when I heard his name being called again. Can I say, well, on the man never retire.
Yeah, so he came on and he never looked bad.
Listen. If him catch back health and fitness and the form and they have from the under 17.
Yeah.
The man, we are coming like. Remember once upon a time we couldn't play a football match without a man like Rudolph Austin in the team.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And with that happiness, a man like I think it was Jason Morris. Them man, the guy who used to play for Portmore United. Yeah, we never used to play football without 1 or 2 of them on the team. Yeah. Holness would have been that kind of guy. He's somebody with a passing on the midfield. Because he's probably the most cultured midfielder that come out of Jamaica. So not Morrison and some of them other UB40 man. You get me? I talk about properly out of Jamaica. He's probably one of the most cultured players. So definitely I'd have him in the side. And then I mean he was the leader of the under 17 World Cup team. That sets you another character. And him fight back from having that heart condition. Exactly. That sets you that is a man who is willing to put everything on the line. So I mean you need those characters, especially, and he's a good player as well. He's not a Jordan in this. You not just go because he's a character. You can't play ball.
All right. So somebody says that Bell, Fisher, Morrison. Well, we added Morrison and Bell, but he said that only Fisher should be added to Craig.
Yeah. I'd go along with that. All
right. So Fisher is there, 17.
So hold on.
So we need 3 more players.
We pick the 23.
The 23. Got the 60. Alright.
And then scale down to the 23.
No, man, I think that.
Yeah, chap from 60 to 23 said, okay.
So we have 3 more players to add to this list, you know.
Who was left out?
I want to ensure so we'll cover all
We need
bases.
more. I think we probably we have Nicholson and we have Andre Gray and Antonio. Antonio.
Wait, hold on
Mikel
there.
Antonio.
You guys forgot Bobby Reed. One.
There we go, Bobby Reed.
Bobby Reed has to be included.
Yeah, he did.
He probably will start.
So that's another one.
So that we need 2 more players to kind of solidify this 23.
Yeah, 2 more now.
So
where are we light?
Wouldn't you guys add Kemar Roof as well from Rangers?
Yeah, but you're not confirm it. So you don't really want to put him in the 23.
But Mikel Antonio and
Antonio does not play it. They're not confirm already and does not play it.
Confirm, but not play it.
Yeah.
Oh, so that is all right. So Davon Williams probably would be included as well.
Speedy. Yeah.
Speedy will be included. So
I don't take him off of it. So yeah, I don't think Speedy. And actually, in the 3-4-3, he don't look like the man play. He might not be the worst person to play alongside somebody there. I wouldn't necessarily go with the 3-4-3 with him specifically though. I think he'd be better than a 4-3-3. But definitely a player you want to have in the team.
Yeah, so 1 more person to be included. Because that's 22 players now.
I tell you what, one thing I think is necessary is to carry some young players, and I don't mean a man who are 24, because that's a Jamaican idea of young players. We need players who exactly. By them time they're supposed to reach already or at the end of that tournament they're gonna reach. So I think a younger player. So we don't really have no only for 21-year-olds or anything like that, or 18-year-olds, mind you.
Well, we do
so have. Let us go to one of the younger players.
We do have.
See that? But just no, me da go with Peter Lee Vassell.
Anglin?
Or Peter Lee Vassell.
Yeah, me da go with Vassell.
Oh, okay. Peter Lee Vassell.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me see it. Okay.
You have man like Vassell, Anglin is not bad. When you have one out.
Lamar Walker is not bad either.
What the boy name, man? See in there, Kaim Paris.
Oh yes, Kaim Paris, and he is the leading goal scorer in his league over in Slovenia too.
I would go with Vassell because I think their forward line isn't bad, and whichever way we decide to play it, it should be okay. But with Vassell, with the fact that our midfield is in such flux because we really don't know who's going to play or even how we're going to play, I think the more quality you have in the middle of the park, and Vassell is a player that can play different ways in the team, I would probably include him. But you know who I just remember when I include all now?
Who would I?
Pepe. Kevin Lambert.
Oh yes.
And him Africa. There's no 2 ways about that. Him Africa.
So where will drop off then?
I would probably take out Maggie.
No.
Yeah. No, but because Lambert is something what everybody else in midfield does not do. So you have to carry him.
So Chris, I will drop Maggie then.
So Maggie drop.
I saw you go, brother. At 23, yeah. I tell you, we can't carry 60 man Gold Cup.
That's true. So we'll have to drop Tyreek Magee then.
Yeah. Because it's one of them things where like let me say them have little time. So I mean them have time can get a little better. But Lambert right now is in a good place. And like I say, provide something that nobody else provides. When you have man like Vassell and Ravel Morrison and you get me all these guys, them kind of do more or less what Magee would do. Maybe different from how Magee would do, or Magee is different from them. But that position, that role is covered. Even one Bailey can drop in at the middle just and do something like that. So those roles are covered. I would so you need somebody like Lambert to already do something different.
So Jamal, so you keep Junior Fleming, right?
Yeah, Fleming's
Yeah, I don't know. Just so, alright,
Because you see, that's the thing. To Flemings
from
could
there,
have do what my big give you.
from there, JC now. I don't know that. I just like how direct he is.
Exactly. So that
Yeah.
matters. Flemings can do what Maggie do as well. So yeah, I get that. Somebody have to get drop at the day, and I think Flemings can handle the competition better.
Yeah, man. And I'm physicality as well.
All right, so or under 20, well, under 23, or 23-man squad: Mikel Antonio, Leon Bailey, Junior Flemings, Andre Blake, Jamal Lowe, Damian Lowe, Javon East, Kemar Lawrence, Kevon Lambert, Amari Bell, Blair Turgot, Andre Gray, Ravel Morrison, Liam Moore, Adrian Mariappa, Alvis Powell, Shamar Nicholson, Miller, Barnes, Fisher, Reed, Williams, and Vassell. So that should be your 23-man squad, right?
Yeah.
All right. So where do you guys have Jamaica finishing in this Gold Cup? We've been to the semifinals. The last Gold Cup, we've been to the finals 2 straight times, 2015, 2017. Where do you see us finishing?
Let me say quickly because I actually have to leave. So let me say quickly. I think so. We played. I think it was a 3-4-3 against. At least it looked like that anyway on paper. We played that against Serbia. It didn't look terrible. And we had man like Damian Lowe in the middle of the park, which looked like a stroke of genius, can I say?
Yeah.
I would probably play that formation again. Just because it seems like it's something that Tapa is working on. And hell, as I said, him need all the help him can get. And if him actually put in mind to something and work on it, then just go with it and done. Nobody try to trick up on mine again. So we go with the 3-4-3. So in a 3-4-3 formation, I would play Andre Blake in goal, that's a given. Damian Lowe in front of him. Probably go with
So Jamal.
Yes.
The last game, Lowe played a defensive mid. You put him back on the back?
Yes, I would, because here's the thing.
You have the other midfielders, sir.
If he play, we have other midfielders, but then the thing is, Damian Lowe being there is going to have this role of just mashing up everything, which he did excellently. But just put him in the battery and tell him to do the same thing, and that can make the midfielders go a little higher. Remember, the reason why Kante works so well in any team going is because it frees up everybody else to do what they need to do, because there's a man that would break up the play as you need to do. And he's competent enough on the ball so he can make the passes for just keep the game ticking over. Right. So you put Damian Lowe in the back three because he can still organize all of your defense. He organize the defenders and he organize the midfielders ahead of him. Right. So you put him in the back three, you play him probably through the middle of that back three. Have him do the same thing, just in playing in the defense. And then you have man like Kevon Lambert in front of him alongside maybe Ravel Morrison, because Lambert now can give you the good box-to-box kind of in-between spaces that you need covered, whereas Morrison would be looking to push forward. And then on the right-hand side, now here's a wild card for you. I'm putting Bobby Reed on the right-hand side. Tax Lawrence is obviously on the left. Why I said Bobby Reed on the right-hand side, I'll get to it. The front three would include Andre Gray through the middle, Mikel Antonio on the left, and Leon Bailey on the right. I don't think there is much better front threes in world football if the three of them play alongside each other. And certainly in CONCACAF, now look, world football probably a stretch, but in terms of CONCACAF, or even just this side of the Atlantic, so to include South America, there's not a lot of better front threes, I think. So when you're talking about going up against the US defense with Andre Gray, Mikel Antonio, and Leon Bailey, come on. And then when you play with my boy them, Bobby Reed on the right of that four, because he's technically a midfielder to him. But then I don't know if you noticed, in some of the games he played for Fulham, and even before that when he was at mostly Birmingham or whoever that was, or Cardiff, whichever team was, I don't remember. But when he was for Fulham and for that team, it wasn't uncommon for him to play a right wing back role, and he did well in that position. He looked good. So I think if you play him there, you have now the potential to link him up with Leon Bailey on the right hand side and if you play Ravel Morrison on the right next to him, you have that diamond there, right? And then of course all of the strength and guile and directness of Mikel Antonio and Andre Gray to bully any defense them come across. Because them Andre Gray by himself look like a tank against the Serbian team. And Serbia have some strong man. Andre Gray about 5'10". And then Serbia man them about 6'100". You get me? And the man strong against them. And Mikel Antonio is even stronger and taller. You get me? And even more physical. Those two guys with Liam Bailey like basically just supporting that run and probably just find themselves in the pockets of space that they leave behind or to pick up those second balls. Boom. Rafael Morrison to link up with that entire front three. Bam.
So hold on, Jamal. We'd want to start and just for your for the update on the game. Craig, Philadelphia, Phoenix took the first game. Devon Booker, 40-point triple-double for Devon Booker. So,
wow.
Very good. So, before you go back into the details, Jamal,
yeah.
I'm just gonna share the screen. So, because I do have a website up now where we can actually formulate the squad. So, who do you have
this
now?
This
is a 3-4-3
the lineup.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the starting 11. So you have Andre Blake in goal, right?
Yeah.
Andre Blake. Nope.
That's Onana.
Yeah, I was wondering. Andre Blake. There we go. Centre backs.
So that middle centre back would be Damian Lowe.
No result found. What? How are them people playing a no ball low?
Well, they're going to learn.
Aha. There you go. There you go.
So I'm not sure as to why it's giving so much problem.
You couldn't just put the name anyway. You have to be somebody with him now.
Yeah, that is the problem that I'm having with
them. Just put anybody name low, so long as the name Jamal is confusing with the other person. We know what we're talking about, we just want to see it's visual. So bear with viewers.
Alright, so the other centre back. Who do you have?
You're looking at Ethan Pinnock and who else Military? What's the other person? Honestly, can't remember. Well, here's an idea for you.
What about Mariappa? You don't like Mariappa there?
All right, yeah, put Mariappa. No, I just couldn't remember who I had said, but Mariappa can work. Because what I was actually going to say is maybe you could play something that these teams that play 3-4-3, especially Conte, because you know that's the theme baby. He likes to play these kind of defensively sound fullbacks in one of those centre back positions.
Talking about the coach, right? Antonio Conte.
Yes. He plays all those fullbacks in the centre back positions because they can defend. They can defend those wide spaces better, and players going at them one-on-one. So I was going to suggest somebody like that, and Adrian Mariappa is that type of player as well. So we can go with that.
All right. So in the midfield, who do you have as the two centre mids?
Kevin Lambert and Ravel Morrison.
Lambert. Well, we just put that in for now.
Okay.
Morrison. Same is there. All right. Left mid, you'd have Leon Bailey.
No. So that left mid that they have is basically going to be what would be like a left back kind of thing, left wing back kind of thing. So that would be Taxi.
Jamal Lawrence. Jamal Lawrence. And then right
side will be Bobby Reed.
Bobby Reed?
Yeah.
Bobby Reed. And then the left wing would be Leon Bailey, right?
No, left wing will be Mikel Antonio.
Oh, Antonio. I them people, hey. And then who would be the right wing?
Right wing is Bailey.
Yeah, Bailey. So I make him can cut in if anything.
Right. Because them
And
two
then
up front
strike
can
out
probably
there
just
Andre Gray, right?
Andre Gray, yeah. Those two up front, are these Mikel Antonio and Andre Gray can basically carry the game by themselves. So when Bailey get a chance for Rome now, you can Rome come central or whatever, and that includes cutting inside for one wicked piece of shot. So
Well, Jamaica have a Spaniard at them side, Lopez.
It's
I
just
just,
a filler.
I just a filler, man. We know, man.
So for the purpose of this, guys, please don't think that we have a Spaniard in the squad. That's not the case. So we do have so we have Andre Blake in goal, Ethan Pinnock, Damian Lowe, Adrian Mariappa. Then in the midfield, Taximan Lawrence as the left wing back, Bobby Reed as the right wing back, Ravel Morrison and Kevin Lambert in the midfield. And then up front, you for the left wing, Mikel Antonio, for the right wing, Leon Bailey, and as the striker, you'd have Andre Gray. Not a bad squad.
yeah, that's what I think. And I think in a team like that, if we play in the ways that I've been suggesting, or however, is the best way to actually get the most out of them, I think we can go very far. We likely will meet one of Mexico or USA in the semifinals, which will be the real test for us, because once you get to the final, you just play without abandon.
It's either Mexico or USA.
Yeah. So in my mind, if we get to the finals, yes, you have to win, but from you get to the final, you just do everything you need to do after that. You don't need to worry about nothing.
Have a chance. Yeah.
When you get to the finals, are 50-50. No matter who and who I play. From you reach the finals, are 50-50.
Any game can be true.
Right. So get through the semifinals against US or Mexico and meet probably the other of the two in the finals. And you're good. In my mind, we're supposed to can win this tournament. That front three is immaculate. Andre Blake is a fantastic goalkeeper. We know that already.
Years.
Right? We know that already. Damian Lowe can marshal that defense and help out in the midfield, as we saw. So that can free up Ravel Morrison to get right up under the forward line. You get me a Lambert and Lowe automatically can screen the defense. Lawrence out wide, Bobby Reed out wide to provide width. It looks good. It looked good to me. So I think, like I said, I have to leave. So I'm just leave it with that. Jamaica for Gold Cup.
All right. So thanks, gentlemen, so much, for joining this live YouTube. Thanks to Craig for joining as well. Jamal, bless up yourself for joining as well. It's been a fantastic.
Let's go Brazil, Copa America.
Brazil, I think they'll win, but we'll see what happens. But I want to say thank you guys so much for joining. Thanks to everybody for joining. Big Rob should have been here. Should have taken him beaten like.
Man. You see Portugal win, he would have been on the call.
Oh God, man, he would have been the first one jump on.
All of us have emergency.
It would have been the first one jump on. So thank you guys so much. Remember, it's road to 500 subscribers. My Instagram is the same as my YouTube, which is Chris the Sports Guy. So you guys can follow road to 800 followers as well. So thank you guys so much, Craig and Jamal. It's been awesome 2 hours, and we'll talk again next week Sunday.
Big up, Jamal.
All right, guys. Thanks.